Welcome in the last, hard to imagine, but the last extra point of the season. I'm Jim Funderburg along with Coach Redhead, brought to you by the home of the ultimate driving machine, Tompkinson BMW over in Fort Wayne. Coach, boy, I tell you, I told you it was going to be a tough place to play. PH was, all of that was advertised, I think. That was a rough Friday night.
Yep, they had their good back. He was off injury, and he racked up some yards. We missed several tackles, and he broke several tackles. Offensively, we went down and drove the ball first drive like we have a lot, and then it's not like they adjusted, and we didn't change a whole lot, and we come back second and third series and can't move it a lick. So we had to get into the pass, and we move it down the first series and go right down, and moved it a little bit, but just couldn't get into the end zone until late.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough situation. There's no doubt about that. The Johnson kid, what was your evaluation of him? You and I talked a little bit about the Oaks kid from Swanton being probably the best athlete we've seen all year long. I don't know that I've seen a kid who was much quicker than that guy the other night, and also had the ability to run through you at times, make you miss, and then just run away from you too.
Yeah, he's definitely the best back we faced, and he proved why, and was physical and fast, and did a good job on the inside game and getting off tackle. So, like I said, you got a horse, you just ride him until you can't anymore.
Yeah, boy, and that's exactly what they did. Blues Creek came in right to start the third quarter. Seemed like that gave you a little bit of a spark. You guys started to move a little bit there early in the third quarter. What did you see that caused you to decide to change horses there at half?
Blues has been in that situation before, especially when he was quarterback last year, and Nobis hadn't been in that situation. He was struggling to see the reads, and so we moved him to receiver and put Blues at quarterback, and they both gave us some help. That's the thing; they're interchangeable, so it helped. Sure. And Blues gives us a little bit more with his legs and his mobility than Zach does. So just because he's done it before, and he's a little more comfortable.
Yeah, I think it caught him a little bit by surprise because he does have that big arm. He can throw that ball down the field, and all of a sudden you see the ball coming out a little bit quicker and a little bit farther. As a defense, I think for a while it had him off guard at least a little bit.
Yeah, it's just he can do it. We just gotta do it all week in practice.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. Nobis has been consistent. But it consistently got tougher on Friday night. That's why I made the change. We want to give ourselves best opportunity to win, and we just we're still week 10. We're waiting for guys to step up and claim it, and be the leader, and that's all the way across.
I know you wanted to try to run the ball the other night. It really just didn't seem like that was there either.
Yeah, other than the first series, we ran it well in the first series, and then we just weren't holding blocks and making mental mistakes, and it's the hard part for me is they didn't line up any different.
Yeah.
And how did you do it right the first series, and then you don't, youth and experience, we shouldn't be there right now. We got to have more fight and more grit than that. That's my job to build, and I'm still working on it, and I'm going to do it all the way through the off season.
Yeah. Off season coming up, what kind of things do you do to maybe help instill some of that in these guys?
Well, the weight room's key. We're going to start an early morning lift for those dual sport kids. In the past, they haven't been able to lift. They go from one sport to another, and they can never get in the weight room. They can never get any stronger. And the guys they play against, that are one sporters or two sporters, they have time in there, so they're getting an advantage. What we're going to do is, I'm going to get up early, a couple days a week and meet those kids in the weight room at 6 a.m. and get them a good lift in before they go to school, so they can still gain some strength and build on what they have. So when it comes into next season, they're not right where they are now. They're stronger, bigger, stronger, faster. And then you just run a hard off-season program after school.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, you've got a ball game coming up this week. It doesn't get any easier with Liberty. We're going to take a time out here real quick. When we come back, we'll talk about Liberty and how we wrap this season up here on the Extra Point. Coach, I'll tell you, Liberty this week, when you started this year, that was one of those teams that was young. Nobody knew what they were going to do, where they were going to head, all that kind of stuff. That's a team that seemed to come together really well this year.
Yeah, definitely. Last year they ended their season strong, and they rolled right in it. They had a couple losses early, and then they rattled off 4 in a row. They're playing hard. They're playing within the system. They're executing within the system and doing what the game plans call for. And that's what wins ball games. You have to do the scheme and play within the scheme and within what the team needs you to do. And they're an embodiment of that. And doing real well, good job.
Yeah, they really are. Again, it's a football team that's going to be physical. They're going to run the ball. They're going to pound the ball. They're not going to throw it all that much. Their idea is that they're going to take that thing and just run it down your throat most Friday nights.
And we've got a game plan that if the guys will do what we are asking them to do and create piles and do those things, instead of standing up looking for the ball, we'll be okay. Friday night we did it at times, and then we'd stand up and I'm going to not plow, and I'm going to stand up and I'm going to look for the ball, and I get driven back 10 yards, and that's right where they run. It's you got to execute what they're told, and we got to do it every play. We can't take plays off, and we can't have those lapses. And it's just been a fight all year, and to find guys that'll consistently do that. And we are better athletically than our record shows. It's just we don't stay consistent. And that's something that when I have more than 4 months with them, I can fix.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to get in here this quick and turn things around that way and get them into what you want them to do in a short period of time like you had this year.
Yeah, and once the program's consistent, for a few years, and it's the same thing, and we're pushing them as hard, and the younger kids have responded. I've got a couple of freshmen starting. Mm-hmm. That doesn't happen often, and they're starting over older guys because they'll do what we ask them to do, and they'll give us every ounce of effort they have, and that's what it's got to be. That's what it was when we played, and that's the mentality and the cultural change that I got to get brought in. That you've got to get the job done no matter what. There is no not getting it done.
Right. One of the seniors that I thought stuck out the other day, though, Jake Hausch, it seemed like he was all over that field quite a bit on Friday night. He seemed to make several different tackles, and he is one of the guys that seemed like he's embodied what you're looking for on a Friday.
Yeah, against the run, he's done a decent job. We corrected some angles. We took some bad angles in the first half, and where the guy was able to run through an outside arm tackle and he didn't get his head across, we corrected it. Got him coming downhill better, and in the second half he did a better job of tackling. And like I said, on the passes, we need to come up more and things. But we played a decent up front at times. Brant played well at nose. He had one jump, but I joked and I said, next time instead of beating your helmet, take your helmet off. And it happens. They're trying to jump the count and things, and they all do it, and they're kids, but as long as they give all their effort, and I just don't see them digging to get to the ball at times, some guys. Yeah. And that's what we have to have, 11 guys going to the ball. We got to have 11 guys trying to finish their blocks and put somebody on the ground on offense. And that's where we're running into problems.
You had some seniors this year. You're going to say goodbye to about 10 of them right now. That's always the way that it happens. Had guys like Chance Taylor and Whitler that kind of went both ways at times. So you did have some guys that had to try to make that big transition from being 3 years in a different program and now trying to make the change here. But it's always kind of hard to say goodbye to seniors at the end of a year, even though life goes on. And you don't have a big class going, but you do have 10 of them that are leaving right now.
Yeah, we're losing 10. We will return 17 starters, and they're the guys that okay, you came in and you started, to try and change the mentality, and that's the thing. The kids tried to do their best, and we have to remember that, and we can't get down on them, because it is a game and it is high school football. Yeah. We're trying to make them better people through playing, not just better athletes. I think we've done that. We may not have the wins to show, but we battled a Napoleon team that almost beat the #1 team in their division.
Sure.
Friday night, and we lost 7-0. We can play like that at times. We just have, they're going to learn the consistency. They're going to learn it through practice and through us staying on them. We haven't changed anything, from week 1 to week 10.
Right.
We're still going, and eventually that'll be the light bulb will click.
Yeah, getting down to this final week, it comes down to a couple of big games. Swanton and Wauseon still trying to battle it out to be that #1 team. Obviously, Wauseon has a bit of an edge because they beat Swanton head-to-head, but both of these teams have big games this week. With Wauseon, they've got to go to Patrick Henry. That's never an easy. I don't care what you, whatever. That's a tough spot to play. It always seems like there's always Patrick Henry and something else that goes on in a night at PH that kind of helps PH, get off to a good start if nothing else, or get a break when they need that. But talk to me a little bit. What's your thoughts about Wauseon and their ability to go in there first of all to get the win that they need this week?
I think their passing game is going to help them tremendously. They'll struggle to run. PH has got a good run defense, but the back end of their defense struggles. We expose that. Wauseon does a decent job throwing. They've got a couple guys that'll go and catch it. So, I think it'll be a tighter ball game, a 21-14 ball game. But they do play great defense, and, I think they can limit Johnson. He'll have a decent night. There's nobody that can stop him, but as long as you can't let him run all over and contain him and slow him down, and let your offense work, I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, Swanton then is going to host Delta this week. Okay, Swanton absolutely has to have a win this week to have any kind of hope to win the conference. And maybe both of them will get into the playoffs with a win or a loss, but I would think in Swanton's case too, a win would be an easier path to get to that postseason.
Yeah, definitely. It comes down to their defense. They got a very good defense. They're going to have to run the ball. Delta, they're good against the run, but their secondary is pretty good, and I think they can sit with the two safeties in the middle. They can really take away a lot of things in the passing game. So it's that one's a toss up. It just depends what Delta team shows up, and Swanton's going to be ready. So we're just going to have to wait and see on that one.
I know you're a big, tough football coach and everything, but I'm sure Coach Redhead at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night sits down every now and then and says, boy, I did this really well this year. I did this really poorly this year. Give the guys watching right now a little feel for how Coach Redhead thinks he did this year.
Well, I think that we ran a program that was solid, consistent. We held the kids accountable for a lot of actions. We had a lot of things that went on that were outside our control, and also we made sure the kids understood they're going to be at practice, they're going to work every day, they're going to get their grades, and be good young men at least. It didn't pan out on the football field, but we're developing our Jimmies and Joes. You can be the greatest X and O guy, but if you don't have some of the a horse here and a horse there, it's really tough. The kids are developing. It's going to come. It's just, when you got 18, 19 kids that are first-time starters,
right?
You're going to struggle some, and just the mix of, we just had some guys. It was really tough to get them some confidence and to get them to play with confidence. And I think with the weight room and the off season and the discipline, it's going to come. I've done it before, and I've built one before, and I can definitely do it here. It's because we got good kids that'll work hard. It's just the full team buy-in. Not saying, well, I used to do this last year. No, it's this way. And once we get the full buy-in and that blind commitment to a purpose higher than yourself, then you got something special.
Yeah. Year one's always the toughest when you make a change like this, isn't it, huh?
Yeah, my successor down there is having a good year, and I left him in a good spot. And I left it better than I found it, and I'm going to make this just the same way as I did down there. The philosophy is sound, and it works everywhere that we've been, and there's good things to come, especially with all the experience we have coming back.
Yep, no doubt about that. Well, Coach, we appreciate all your time and all your effort this year. Okay, good luck on Friday night. Let's get this, maybe let's get that last win against the Liberty Center team on a Friday night, huh? They kind of got us last year's payback time for us, huh?
Yep, that's what we're focusing on.
No doubt about that. That's going to wrap it up for this year on Extra Point. If it's Friday night, football's next here on BMU TV.